So welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what it was like growing up in Connecticut. I'm just going to open up about what I liked about Connecticut, things I didn't like, and then I'll tell you about the things I like in Texas and things I don't like, because I moved here when I was 19, about to turn 20. So we'll start with Connecticut. I was born and raised in Connecticut, and I lived there my whole life, from literally birth all the way up until 19 years old. And honestly, it was just like small town Hallmark vibes, like Hallmark movies. That's pretty much what it was like. Small town, everyone knew everybody. All the kids I went to elementary school with, I went to middle school with, and high school with, and then it was just like, you do sports, you hang out with your friends, you go to the mall, you go to the movies. Your parents go to the casinos and stuff. You go to the casinos for concerts, football, whatever. And long story short, it wasn't much to do out there. Like, we didn't have, like, a bunch of things to do. So it was just, like, bonfires, hanging out with your friends, and just really having intentional time. Like, now that I look back at it, it was very much so just very intentional, spending one-on-one time with people or just in small groups. And a lot of my friend groups from back then, or people that were friends back then, are still best friends to this day. And that's something I love, and I kind of miss that. And I also grew up with people being very real, being very honest and raw about any and everything they felt. So that was very nice. And then I also loved how I could drive from like state to state, and it didn't take like hours, where like you drive in Texas 2 hours, you're still in Texas. 5 hours, you're still in Texas, where Connecticut's not like that. You drive 3 hours, you're in New York, then you're in Boston, then New Jersey, and you could like easily go from state to state, where like Texas is way more spread out. But yeah, overall, like, Connecticut's not bad. It's just not much to do there. And after a while, like, you kind of grow out of it. And I do feel like sometimes people go there to retire, because it's like there's not much to do. But when you're born and raised there, you don't really notice the difference. Like, you can definitely find stuff to do. But also, like, one of the big things that people do in Connecticut is they, like, go to Florida for vacation, to travel, all that stuff. And it's very nice. And I like that part. I like how I was able to see multiple states in a short amount of time, and I didn't realize like how much I traveled until I moved to Texas. I'm like, oh, a lot of people haven't been to like most of the states I've been to, so that was a blessing in disguise that I did not even realize that I had that luxury until moving here. And then in the next clip, we'll talk about, the things that I've learned in Texas, the good parts, the bad parts. Okay, so one of the things that I noticed when moving here to Texas when I was 19, because we moved on Valentine's Day, so this upcoming Valentine's Day will be 8 years that I've lived in Texas. And one of the things I noticed is that, like, it's not as diverse as Connecticut was, like, surprisingly. Even though this is a bigger state, I thought it would be more diverse, and it's honestly not. So that was, like, really shocking to me. Also, I wasn't expecting, like, everything to be so far away. Like, that was also a big shock to me, that I was not expecting, like, at all. And then I'll tell you guys more things that I, like, noticed that I didn't, like, that I either wasn't used to or that I'm just not a fan of in the next clip. And then we'll talk about also the positive things I've learned. Okay, so another thing, too, is that, like, when I first moved here, it was very, very hard for me to make friends. Because, like, I just didn't relate to most people my age. Like, the slang they talk, the way they did things, how they did things is very, very different. So it was just like a big adjustment, and it took me a long time to find like really core friends that I could relate to and stuff. And it was just like hard making friendships. Like, that's something I noticed, is like when you're not from here, it is really hard to make friends here. And it's just like, I don't know, at least in the part that I live in, because I live in DFW, so Dallas Fort Worth area, and it's just like super hard making friendships here. That's something I noticed that is like difficult to do. Another thing is that, there is more things to do here. There is. It's a lot more things to do here. You have a lot more opportunities here, fun things to do, but it's also like, there is some things that I miss about like small towns and stuff that I don't really get here. And sometimes it's like, this place is so big that you could easily get lost in like this small town because it's so big, and it's just like, there's just not like people as intentional. Like, not everybody's as intentional, because there's always more of everything. There's always more friend groups, there's always more things to do, there's always more places to go. So you just have to find your group of people, and then when you do, like, stick to those people and find genuine core people. But there is always something going on. You could go to a football game, a baseball game, Like, literally, when I say anything, I mean anything. Like, Friday night is high school, Saturday is college, Sunday is professional football. Like, you always have something to do. You and your friends could literally go to the rivers, to multiple places. Like, I spent all last summer in Austin, and I think Austin is really, really fun. And there's, like, a lot of young people there, a lot of things to do that are very fun. I've also been to Houston, and Houston is, honestly, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think Houston is overrated. The traffic is terrible. And literally, when me and my friend went, we almost got pushed off the highway on several occasions. They do have some really cool spots and some really cool things, but like being on the traffic, that side of it is not good. So just be aware if you ever come to Texas that the traffic in Houston is really, really bad. And honestly, it's like the traffic overall is bad here, but I think like Houston is the worst. But I have nothing against Houston. They have a lot of like amazing things that happen there. A lot of famous people come from there. There are a lot of amazing things. It's just like traffic is terrible. So that's just other things that I've learned. But yeah, like being here for 7 years, I definitely grew in a lot of ways. Like definitely faith-wise. There's always like Sunday service is always going on. Churches do a lot of events here, and 9 times out of 10, it's like shut down. Like stuff is shut down on a Sunday because there is church, because there's all those things. So I feel like if I could have a little of both things in each place, I would do that. Like if I could take a little bit of my hometown where I was born and raised, I would take some of those things and then take some things from Texas. You know, I feel like that would be the perfect place for me. It's like a happy medium. But yeah, there are like good and bad in both, and I still do love both. Like I still visit Connecticut any chance I get. I still visit like my family and stuff out there and friends. And you know, same thing in Texas. Like I have a lot of like really close friends here that will probably be my friends for the rest of my life. And like a lot of people here get married really young, so like I've been to a lot of weddings, which is amazing. A lot of baby showers. There's just always something happening, and that's like something I love, and I'm very grateful for that and all the things that I've learned throughout that. So that part is good. Dating, like I said in my previous video, is very hard out here, but there are people that find their people and they get married. Like I just said, I've been to several weddings, so like you can find your person. It's just like dating is hard, but once you find your person, most people here are ready to settle down. I can't say that. Like they're ready to settle down, get married, and just be a family unit with you. I will say that. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next clip, and we'll just wrap up the video. Okay, thank you so much for watching today's video. It was just basically talking about the things that I've learned, opening up to you guys a little bit more so you can know about me. I was born and raised in Connecticut. I now live in Texas, and that I'm just a suburb girl living in this big, big city, and all the things that I've learned and that what the state has taught me and how I've grown in so many ways, and I'm grateful for that. And honestly, I'm so happy you're here, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.